Department be. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much, and welcome again to everyone. It's always really wonderful and exciting to see a full house in here, so thank you for taking time every morning to be with us and help us understand and assess these important issues. So before we get started, I want to first of all say a special thank you to Rosie and the staff for all of the amazing hard work this morning for getting us all in here so we're all able to listen and participate in the conversation. So thank you for all the labor that went into making that happen. So you'll see we have agendas today. Before we dive into our agenda, however, we want to take a few moments to recognize and appreciate the incredible service and leadership of our outgoing director, Richard Bruckner. Mr. Bruckner has led this department since 2010 with unparalleled vision and leadership, resulting in enormous progress and a lot of innovation in the county and in this department. And so I'm honored to be able to present a commemoration from the Commission in recognition of your leadership this morning. And I just want to say a few words. I think your legacy is incredible and will be characterized by so much progress and innovation. I think from the comprehensive update to our general plan, to the local coastal plan, modernizing the permit and inspection process, and everything else in between. But to me, at least, another really important part of your legacy is the people in this department. I think at the Commission, we often see projects and policies come to us when they're sort of at the end or near the end of the process, and we know that there are a lot of hard work, a lot of visioning, dedication, and work that goes into bringing these projects before us, and I'm always so impressed by the professionalism and the skill and the vision that we see coming to us, and I think that is reflective of the culture that you've created in the department and your leadership. And so it's been an honor to work with you the last couple of years. I wish that we had more. We're going to miss you greatly. But it's also an honor to know that we'll be able to continue to work with the staff in this department, and that will continue to be a reflection of your leadership and your legacy. So thank you so much for everything you've done for the county, for this department. And I think Commissioner Shaw has a few words before we get to the votes.
Well, I do. I just want to tell you how much you're going to be missed. Richard, I think you know that. The professionalism and integrity you have brought to this department and to the county is such a breath of fresh air for me, and I know for many other people here. Just the turnaround and the quality of work, the amount of work that's getting done, the speed with which we are moving through our cases at the Commission wasn't always this way. It's just I think a terrific place to work. It's a terrific place for us to come as volunteers and commissioners. You get all of the credit for this, and you are going to be so missed. And if for no other reason, just your wonderful personality. You're just such a lovely person to work with. I hope you will help your successor to bring he or she up to speed. I know you will. I hope we don't lose you entirely. Thank you so much.
I don't know I think we have some photos, but if other commissioners want to say a few words.
Just a quick comment from this commissioner. You and I have been on the regional planning about the same time. You came on board just prior to my appointment, and you have been a fabulous mentor. You guided me and this department in the direction that it's going, and you're very successful at it. I think the final product of your work, though, has been the staff, because they reflect the same high quality, detailed analysis and recommendations that you've put out. So I personally want to thank you for all the leadership you've provided.
I forgot to say one thing. I wanted to thank your wife, Betsy, who's here with you this morning. One thing we all know when you work in land use planning is there are so many meetings in the evenings and on the weekends, and And thank you for lending your husband to us through the past 8 years, 7-8 years of those after-hours endeavors. It is much appreciated. So thank you. I'm glad you're here this morning so we can meet.
Chair, please.
Yes, please.
Richard, I wish I could say all these wonderful people after this morning were here to wish you farewell. So the least I can say, you're going out in home style. We're grateful of people. So on behalf of the department staff, it's been a wonderful service under you, your leadership, as the commissioners have said, your integrity, your professionalism, all really outstanding. It's been an honor. So thank you.
Before the photos and after that, there's some people who I think came down for another matter. But it is always nice to play to a full house. The commissioners, you've been wonderful and supportive, thoughtful, careful in your consideration of all the cases, and very supportive of staff. So I couldn't ask for a better group of commissioners. It's been a real pleasure to work with you in my almost 4 years of planning. This has been the tops in terms of commissions that I've worked with. So thank you for all your support. A quick thank you to a few others, because I know there's a lot of differences with county council and their group. And we've had several people involved in county council. They keep us out of Landy's jail. And they've been wonderful, collaborative. And I think this department works with county council as well as any department in the county, because we have mutual respect and work closely with one another. So thanks to the county council here today, and there are many others who have worked with us, including the head of the section now, and certainly to the staff who have been wonderful. And we don't get to do what I don't get to do what I do without an army behind us. And every one of them are caring about the issues, cutting edge planners. And we brought a new group of planners in who bring the same kind of dedication and thoughtfulness. So I'm very comfortable with the transition, because I know we've got a great team behind us. Dennis as chief deputy, the deputy directors, the section heads, all I think bring a true sense of professionalism and dedication to it. So I'm very confident that the traditions that we all together at Second Place will continue. And again, thank you for your hard work, and thanks to all the staff.
Thank you. And the commissioners also want to take some photos with you. We go over, just over here on the side.
What do you want to do? Supposed to be?
Here.
Can I just ask you
Oh my
to
God.
so they can take a quick
Take
photo?
it
Thank
right
you.
Oh my God.
Above your desk, yes, on the side, sure.
Oh my God. Oh my God, that's great. I'm
It's
feels
good.
like
It's
it's
one
fragile.
piece.
Oh, it's all one piece.
Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing.
All of us and the previous commissioners as
Oh, wow.
well, yes.
That's wonderful. Thank you.
1, 2, one more. 1, 2.
Great. Thank you.
Then of course has a
We're going to
back
still Dennis in there also.
Yes.
Dennis. Thank you.
A little less exciting.
Oh, no. Great. Thank
Wouldn't
you.
be a county event without a flag,
Without a
right?
plaque. Exactly. That was great.
1, 2. One more. 1, 2. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. We'll be seeing
Thank
each
you,
other.
Dennis. I hope so.
The right hand side. Oh, one more. There.
Gary has a phone. Yeah, one got a phone. Gary's got a phone.
For our grand finale.
Members of the commission, J. Bruckner. Formerly Director of Planning and Development with the City of Pasadena for 10 years. Successfully implemented much of the city's development without any fear. Joined regional planning in the year 2010 and has been a moving force in all phases of planning since then. The Renewable Energy Ordinance, the update to the Antelope Valley area-wide general plan. He's had so many success stories while here. From where does the energy come for this man? He's a truly unique director, a man for all seasons. He knows the names of all the employees and regularly visits the sections for a myriad of reasons. He's a diplomat, an ambassador of goodwill. Major law firms and developers are well aware of his expert planning and development skill. On a lighter note, we wish him well, and time will tell whether Brooks Brothers will suffer a loss from DRP losing Richard J. Bruckner as our boss.
So thank you again to everyone for those wonderful kind words. Really important and meaningful moment to share with everyone, so thank you. With that, we are now ready to move to our regularly scheduled program. And I want to just list a couple of administrative items before we get started. You have agendas of today's proceedings located in the back of the room. These are those pink sheets. Many of you have already filled out comment cards. Thank you. If you haven't and you wish to speak before the commission, you can, staff member can help you fill out a comment card and bring it forward. Please be sure to silence your cell phones. And as a reminder, these meetings are webcast and can be viewed on the department's website if you're interested. So I think we'll get through a couple of our sort of short beginning items before we move on to the main event that everyone's here for. So I want to start with approval of our agenda.
Second.
Motion and second. All in favor?
Aye.
Excellent. Motion, agenda has been approved. So we'll do reports. County Council, anything this morning? Reports. Director's reports.
Yes, good morning, Commissioners. I'd like to report on a couple of public hearings of the last 2 weeks of the Board of Supervisors meeting. First of all, last week, the board held a public hearing on the appeal of the conditional use permits and housing permits for the 2 affordable housing projects located in East Los Angeles at County and Whittier. At the close of the public hearing, the board denied the appeal and approved the project. Secondly, last week, there was a zone change and conditional use permit for the KMET Recycling Center in Roland Heights, and consistent with the Commission's recommendation, the board approved that project as well. Lastly, yesterday at the Board of Supervisors meeting, the board held a public hearing. They had called up for review the conditional use permit for a market that wanted to sell liquor on Vermont Avenue in the West Athens, Westmont community. And at the conclusion of that hearing, the board did approve the project, but did modify one condition and added another. The condition that was modified was the hours at which time they could sell alcohol, and that was modified to 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. Secondly, an additional condition was added restricting the sale of hard alcohol in containers less than 750 milliliters. That concludes my report.
Thank you very much. With that, we'll move to approval of the minutes for July 12, 2017.
So moved.
Second. Motion and second. All in favor?
Aye.
Great, thank you very much. That brings us to item number 6, and we'll open the public hearing. This is project number 2015-01232. We begin with a staff report, but as Mr. Jones is getting set up, I want to just go over some ground rules and how this is going to play out. So generally in these hearings, first we hear from staff. We'll give a presentation, overview of the project. Following that presentation, we'll then hear from the applicant. The applicant will have 15 minutes to present their project, how they wish to do so. And then we open it up to hear from the public, from the community. Sometimes when there's an organization that represents a large number of individual stakeholders or constituents, we can allow that organization to have a little extra time to present a video with the idea that it's sort of, rather than individuals speaking, it's an opportunity to present a cohesive message on behalf of the organization. So if some individuals fill out a card and give up their time to allow for that video. So we have such a request this morning from the United Homeowners Association to present that video. It's a 6-minute video. We are going to allow that video to be shown. Everyone else who wishes to speak may do so if you fill out a comment card. We, at this moment, I believe, have over 70 comment cards, which is excellent and wonderful, and we want to hear from everybody who wishes to speak. However, in order to make sure that everyone does have that opportunity to speak, we're going to give 2 minutes per comment. So if you can try to plan accordingly and try to have your comments and share your thoughts and your ideas and your concerns in 2 minutes, that would be excellent. Of course, if someone else comes forward and says what you were going to say very eloquently and persuasively, you're welcome to not speak if you so wish. You don't have to come forward, but of course, anyone who wishes to speak may do so and come forward. You might hear somebody say something that you really agree with and you think is really great, and you might even have the impulse or the instinct to clap or applaud. I understand that, however, it's difficult sometimes when that occurs for the rest of us, for the commission, for your neighbors to sort of hear what's going on. So I'd like to ask that in such a case, if you could try to do maybe raise the roof or do one of these, something to convey your appreciation, your agreement without too much noise disruption. We, I believe, are able to accommodate everyone in this room. In the event that some other folks show up, looks like we're at pretty near capacity, so we may need to have people in an overflow room outside if that does occur. Of course, if you are outside, you are still welcome and able to provide comments to the commission. You can fill out a comment card. We'll make sure that when we call your name, we go out there and bring you in, and we'll do our best to make sure that everyone that's here gets the opportunity to speak and to share their thoughts. So that's the general public comment period. After that occurs, then the applicant will be invited back up and they'll have a 10-minute period, a rebuttal period to address any concerns that may have been raised. And then we'll move on to commission discussion. So that's the basic sort of process that we're going to go through today. Appreciate everyone being here. Appreciate your patience as we do our best to make sure that we hear from everybody and to sort of play by these basic rules. So thank you again. Unless I've missed anything important.
We might miss a cutoff time at which point we stop taking speaker cards for a second.
That's a good point. So I want to make sure, sometimes I understand it's Los Angeles, traffic is difficult, sometimes people can't be here right at the starting time. So why don't we say 9:45, we'll cut off. So if you have a friend that you think was going to try to be here that isn't, maybe shoot him a text, see what's up, and we're gonna accept comment cards until about 9:45. But then at that point, we're gonna have to cut it off so that we can make sure that we can get through everything today and hear everyone who took time out of their day to come talk to us. So 9:45 is the cutoff time for comment cards. Otherwise, looking forward to hearing everyone's thoughts, ideas, concerns, and visions. So with that, I think we're ready to begin with our staff report.
Thank you. Good morning, Chair Smith and Commissioners. My name is Stephen Jones. I'm a Principal Regional Planning Assistant in the Land Division section. First off, this morning's information packet contains clarifications of the applicant's offering for middle income units. The applicant offered 5% of 140% of the AMI, which is middle income, and staff requested 10% of the units be 140% AMI, which is again middle income. And your findings and conditions have been clarified and updated to reflect consistency there. There's also additional comment letters in this morning's packet, and I'm still getting phone buzzes about emails. It's not my Twitter feed, I'm still getting emails about this project. So, agenda item number 6, this project number R2015-01232, vesting tentative tract map number 073082 and conditional permit number 2015-00052. The applicant is requesting authorization to create a multi-family residence block develop 88 attached single-family residence units within one building, a residential project known as The View. The project is located within the View Park Zone District. And the current project was filed April 28, 2015, including a plan amendment, zone change, and conditional use permit. After the November 2015 effective date of the 2035 general plan update, the plan amendment and zone change were withdrawn. The plan update and zoning consistency actions make the site general commercial and zone C1 restricted business. The project is consistent with the 0 to 50 dwelling units per acre of the CG land use designation. The project requests modifications for height and front yard setback via the conditional use permit to assist meeting the county's regional housing needs assessment provisions of the general plan housing element. Residential use in the commercial zone also requires approval of the conditional use permit. A provision in the conditional use permit section of Title 22 gives the Commission authority to specify modified zone regulations. An initial study was conducted to determine whether or not the project would have a significant impact on the environment and allow staff to conclude that a mitigated negative declaration was the appropriate documentation for secret requirements. State and county jurisdiction agencies commented on the project's proposed impact. The South Coast Air Quality Management District commented that the draft document used the 2012 AQMP or the 2016 plan adopted March 3, 2017 should have been used. As in the writing of the draft initial study, the 2016 AQMP was not adopted. Since that time, staff requested an air quality analysis and GHG analysis from the applicant's consultant who provided the document in which the 2016 AQMP was used. In a late letter received from SCAQMP, the Air Quality District recommended that the air quality analysis be required by mitigation measure 3.2 be conducted, prepared, and analyzed as part of the draft initial study prior to your action on this project. Since the subject mitigation measure is required and monitored by County Public Health, the Department of Regional Planning felt that the prior to issuance of grading permit was an acceptable time and prior action is not required at this time. So the measure is sufficient as it stands. Other comments on the initial study were regarding the number and type of units addressed in one section of the document, which read 56 detached units, and how the View Park Historic District was not mentioned. The document has been corrected to reflect the 88 proposed number of attached units, and the staff report and the document both read that the site is not in the View Park Historic District. However, the View Park Historic District is nearby. The document staff report also read that the height varies from 58 feet to 65 feet 1 inch. The correct maximum height from natural grade is a proposed 64 feet 9 inches. The subdivision committee cleared the best intended tract map for hearing, deeming that the tentative map met all applicable subdivision map act regulations. The best intended tract map depicts one multi-family lot with a building pad that covers greater than 50% of the site, with the entire site being graded. Access is proposed from Overhill Drive. The site is currently vacant and was previously unsecured where dumping of refuse and cast-off items, construction material, and trash was observed, but the applicants sent evidence of cleanup via photos. As seen from Overhill Drive, here in the rendering, the proposed structure is shown to be 59 feet 11 inches. From LeBray Avenue, the proposed structure is shown to be 64 feet 9 inches. Public comments included air quality concerns, traffic, and the proposal being out of character with the existing surrounding development due to the proposed height and the density. Calls were received with concern about emergency evacuations, fatalities from vehicles cutting through the detached single-family residence neighborhood, and the effect of the project on the View Park Historic District. In conclusion, we recommend approval of the project based on the number of units meeting agreement. That concludes my presentation and our available questions.
Thank you, Mr. Jones. I know you mentioned it, but can you just clarify real quickly the department's response to the AQMP letter? So I understand that they were hoping that the MND would assess consistency or compliance with the 2006 AQMP, or 2016. And we have an assessment and evaluation that does in fact do that and can be included.
That's correct.
Okay.
The draft initial study initially included a 2012 AQMP, but that was changed. Later, it was changed, and the applicant did use the 2016 AQMP in their air quality and GHG analysis.
So in that respect, it's responsive to AQMP concerns. Thank you. Do you have any other questions from staff at this point?
Mr. Jones, good morning. Hey, thank you very much. I know that this is, in some ways, turned out to be a career working on this project, so you've done excellent work, and it's much appreciated. Walk me through the thinking as far as the height of the project. Typically, we look at variances of 2, 3, 4, 5 feet. Here we're looking at 30 feet. And one of the findings that we conclude, or potentially conclude from the commission standpoint, it does not materially affect the community around it. Talk to me how you get there.
This property is an edge property. Tangentially speaking, it's the edge of the border of the View Park Zone District and the Ladera Heights area. So we look at it as though, since it's on the edge, the 35 feet in the commercial zone was not a huge difference in that it's meeting, our basic premise was that it's meeting the regional housing needs assessment with 80 units in light of the housing prices. So being that it's on the edge of the district, staff concurred that the burden of proof is met.
So the justification is the need for additional housing.
Yes.
There is oil drilling going on in the area. And in evaluating the seismic issues, that was taken into consideration, I'm sure.
It was. The Department of Public Works and the Fire Department have put in that, and it would be required to meet the county building code, which addresses earthquake faults. And the Department of Public Health has asked for an air quality analysis regarding the oil well in the drilling area.
I look at the fracking as being sort of a dynamic change in the situation. Was that taken into consideration?
Fracking was not taken into consideration.
Okay, thank you.
Do you have any other questions of staff at this point? Mr. Shaw?
Yes, I do. It's along the same lines of the height. I'm trying to understand it. It's a little hard for me to read on the plans, but from La Brea, is the basement there? It's not underground. Is that correct?
It would be subterranean.
It is subterranean at La Brea. Because I'm trying to understand the view simulations.
Correct. It's below natural grade. So they're digging and taking out, but so it's below natural grade.
Okay. Because there's some parts where a height is shown in our burden of proof on the view simulation. The number 7 shows 76 feet.
So that is taken into consideration. The partially subterranean. It's subterranean from over here, and it is seen from the grade, so that's why I say it's below natural grade. And that 76 feet includes the below natural grade height.
Okay, because perhaps some of the applicants I think or the architect can give me a better understanding. I'm trying to understand if the height, because of the slope, if what we have at La Brea is higher down than 65 feet.
Right. So what's visible definitely is 76 feet, and staff measurement as far as our maximum height is concerned, it's obviously over the maximum height. We only take from natural grade as the actual.
But what's visible is up to 76
What's
feet.
visible will be 76 feet from the grade.
I just want to follow up on the question Commissioner Louis asked you about the fracking.
Yes.
How was that considered?
It's not in our code, so we only look at what the regulations were from Title 22 and the building code. And I can defer to Public Works if there's more information about that they can provide.
Can you address that, Public Works?
We don't have any specific information regarding the fracking part of this. concern, they've had to overcome the private consultants to address it, but the building permit stage. During the sign, obviously, with the seismic part also, will be addressed through the building permit comments.
Thank you.
Thank you. I have some questions, and I think we'll all probably have additional questions, but perhaps we want to hear from the applicant and the public, and then we'll reconvene. So, thank you very much. At this point, I want to bring the applicant forward to give their presentation, and I also want to take this opportunity as they're coming forward to swear everyone in. So, if you filled out a comment card, and if you plan to speak on this item today, or even if you didn't fill out a comment card, I think you might want to speak on this item. We want to be able to swear you in. So if you could please stand if you're able. And raise your right hand. I want to make sure we get the applicant as well. They're simultaneously dealing with technical. So. Alright. Do you and each of you swear or affirm under penalty of perjury that the testimony... We'll start over. Do you and each of you swear or affirm under penalty of perjury that the testimony you may give in the matter now pending before this commission shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, as I say? Excellent. Thank you all. So welcome. As the applicant, you'll have 15 minutes to speak to us, show a video, how you want to use it. You'll have a little clock in front of you, so it'll count down from 15. The green light will go on when you begin, yellow light when there's about 30 seconds left, and then the red light when it's time to wrap up. And if you could both state your name for the record, and then go ahead and do that.
Charlotte Rose.
I'm Charles World. Instead of a presentation, I'm going to show a video. I'd like to say good morning to all of you. Good morning, thank you. Come on. Look for me.
Pause your time.
That video has a better soundtrack.
Thank you, Commissioner Louie. Good, excellent reminder. If you recall, we implemented a cutoff time for comment cards. So we've reached our 9:45 deadline, so this is the last call for comment cards. Anyone who wishes to speak will have 2 minutes. Please get your cards in right now, otherwise we're going to cut off comment cards.
And just to be clear, we're putting out for public hearing and the outcome.
Thank you.
Charles Quarles, Premier of the Devon Group, and we're developing the project on the project is a myriad of great features that I think is going to make it very attractive to the homeowner there.
There'll be lots of amenities there. We'll have
A beautiful outdoor swimming pool with views to the west that are going to be very, very sought after.
rec room, a gym.
This building is brand new, luxury. It's a fabulous investment.
Located in View Park, right at the apex of Overhill and La Brea.
There's a view that we have glass windows at that edge, and we can see the ocean.
And so the condominiums that we're bringing would cater to people who are accustomed to living in a bit of luxury and who have the income to be able to purchase luxury.
Building values, increasing values,
buildings like this, where we are providing jobs and ownership, is helping with property taxes, which helps our schools.
Full of quality materials, quality amenities.
And so our quality, we will have the kind of quality on the exterior and interior, where we have granite countertops.
Larger living areas, more expansive rooms throughout the unit, and very generous outdoor living decks.
Gives you commanding views of the entire city practically, so it's a great location.
Panoramic view to die for.
Which I think will be a great asset to those units.
I love the luxury.
We would also include amenities that have attracted buyers to those other communities, and we should have those in our community too, so we put them in our project.
There's not too many, very few luxury condominiums in this community.
We want to provide a lifestyle and a quality that people can be proud of.
These are higher quality units. They're a little larger than what you normally find in a project like this.
It has a barbecue, a countertop, restrooms, pool equipment enclosed, so it's not going to be any noise in the area.
No need to leave the site to experience some great casual living.
Affordability and luxury are not always hand in hand.
We didn't think because it's in View Park or in a what's considered a black neighborhood that the quality should be any less. We deserve as much as anyone else.
Square footage is more luxurious.
It gives you pride.
And the kind that they would experience if they lived in some of the more upscale areas.
Well, let's say better than any Beverly Hills or Hollywood.
They're going to be priced in the low fours, and some will reach up as high as $700,000.
A regular house in this area, the houses are probably close to $1 million.
And single-family homes are more expensive than a condominium.
We want, people who can, reasonably afford to be in the area to be in the area.
Our project is only going to add to the value of the existing homes that are already located in View Park.
I see a new wave of young people coming in with their children.
Young professionals primarily, and empty nesters.
Even people who are downsizing.
But many people that I know would be clamoring for the opportunity.
When it came down to settling down and raising a family, it's the place I chose.
Central area of Los Angeles.
It has those coastal breezes,
close to the beach, close to the airport, and really close to downtown even.
One of the best places in Los Angeles, some of the best views, some of the best people.
Well, this is a community I love, and I'll be here.
And I live in Ladera, so this area I've been around all my life.
I think there's some places in our area that can be developed if they're developed smart.
What has happened in this community, if we wanted something that was luxury or quality, we would have to leave to go to Beverly Hills.
There was a large African-American population that, saw the need to move away.
We have not the best grocery stores. We don't have the best healthy choices in our restaurants. But that is changing, and I see some development happening, and I'm excited about that.
But if it's a positive change, people end up embracing it.
But we're reviving now, and I'm very proud.
Things do change, and I've learned to embrace change.
The Bedford Group would create a very distinct opportunity for people that just don't have a way of moving back into the city.
In fact, we have a lot of developments happening. We have the Metro light rail.
And there's a lot of vitalization. Kaiser is building a new hospital in the area.
We have the Rams coming in. A lot of developments and jobs are being brought with that.
There's growth all up and down Crenshaw right now with the rail line coming in.
With Los Angeles expecting to grow from 10 million to 13 million people by 2030.
Many services and amenities are coming back into the community. However, we still have a ways to go.
There were no African Americans here, and people left, and we came in and established a foothold, and that was a change that was destined to happen.
But change is inevitable. It's going to happen. And this is the type of change that I'd like to see.
The assumption is that product's going to come, whether we like it or not.
But you can't stop change.
So that's just the process of life.
And I really like that we have luxury buildings coming into this community. It's been needed for a long time.
If we can maintain that, more power to us. If we can't maintain it,
change is going to come.
The Bedford Group has done amazing work around the Santa Rosalia area.
Produced a better product, and they took pride in what they put here.
I don't know a lot of African American developers doing projects in the area.
Well, I know there are not a lot of African American developers, period.
So as a developer, I get pleasure from being able to do that in the community in which I live.
He actually cared what was put here.
It gave me great pleasure to be able to develop kind of housing that we could take pride in our own neighborhood.
This is a local developer. He built this. This is ours. It's not somebody giving to us.
In some way upgrading the community, well, it brings you pleasure, particularly if you're a developer. The family lives in the area. I know they've invested in the area because I actually live in that particular community, and we've done a number of projects in that community.
Bedford Group is almost a household name in this community.
We used Quimby funds, which is it's basically a mitigation fund that's created by developers like the Bedford Group. We care about where we build, we care about what we build, and we care about who we build for. You know, offsetting the mitigation issues, they provide funding for parks and open space.
So they've been very good to work with.
We develop in other communities also, but I got particular pleasure from being able to develop in the community in which I live and a community which catered primarily to black people. Well, we did an extensive shadow study, and the building is so far northward that there's never any shadow cast in any property.
Henceforth, it is impossible for a project to the north of the residential portion to cast any shadows whatsoever on the residential yards or homes at all. It's just physically impossible for those shadows to reach the homes. This site cannot cast a single shadow into anybody's yards or homes. It's just not going to happen with the solar orientation that the site experiences.
The sun, when it comes eastward, it goes southward, and there's never a shadow cast on anybody's property. We were very careful in terms of our design and the placement of the building to ensure that we didn't impact any views.
The views are at the south, and they're also at the west and east, okay? And there's no view to the north.
This property, as it sits, is already on the northern side of the residential neighborhood.
The view that people have that live on the crest right now is primarily of the commercial area that's directly north.
There's no view to the north, so the residential community are not losing a view with this project.
Well, we pushed our building all the way northward, and we made sure that we protected and preserved the views of the ocean that any people that live on the crest would have.
It's just not there because they don't have the view going up the hill anyway.
And there are only 6 homes there that had any kind of view at all, and those views are still intact.
My name is Dwayne Newell, and I'm a realtor here in LA. I love to hear that the Bedford Group is black-owned, it's part of the community, it's community-based. The developer, we got a black developer representing the community, and it's even aspirations for me, because I want to become an architect, a developer, deal with the developers, construction.
I live at the Bedford Promenade for 6 strong years. LA is a melting pot, and the neighborhoods that represent that, are neighborhoods that are going to have opportunities with better retailers and things of that nature. Property values will increase. I mean, it's nothing but positive news when you see a face that doesn't look like yours walking through the street. It's just a sense of greater community, and it's one of the reasons why I moved to LA.
Projects like this right here in the community where there's not a lot of space to grow allows for younger people, millennials, people in their early 30s, late early 40s to be able to purchase something. If they're not looking for specifically maybe a house, they can move into one of these lovely condominiums. It's just not what we're used to around here. Most people are used to single-family homes, certain square footage, a certain layout. And when you say you're going to add something, a lot of people who've been here for a long time, they just don't see how that works with what they're used to. New property doesn't move people out of the community. People selling their homes move people out of the community. If it's a place that you see that's good and you want to be there, don't sell your home. Don't move, improve. Stick around. I mean, you look at Venice Beach and Santa Monica, they weren't always nice neighborhoods. At one point, they were really considered seedy, for the areas. And what happened was a lot of those hippies and hipsters and artists who lived there stuck around and they became wealthy through real estate.
In this area for 45 years. I've been living here in the condo for 8 years. I was one of the first 11 people to buy in this area. I think they're doing a very good job keeping people in this area, building condos. They can move from apartment to a condo and they won't have to leave and go to another area. So I don't think anybody would be against nobody in this area building something. I don't understand, they need to think about it and they should be happy they have a new condo being built in this area.
And when I saw this place, the Bedford Promenade, I liked it immediately. It let the builders live right in the community. It shows that they have confidence in the area. My son lives not too far from here, so I had him. And we come from New York, the Bronx, New York.
And I saw when the condos were being built, and after they were built, one day on my lunch break, I decided to come on by and take a look at them. And I fell in love with them. Businesses, want to come in, and that actually makes my property value go up. So I like that part of it. I did like. I've never heard of a developer living in the area in which they've developed, but to know that Mr. Quarles and his family literally live around the corner. I mean, when I go walk through the neighborhood, through the hills, I walk by, his home all the time. But we're homeowners, and we have pride, and we take pride in our area and in our properties. They're going to have, the views of the ocean. I said, Darren, put me on that list.
My son saw it going up, and he kept telling me, Mom, they're building this, Mom, they're building that. And so I did come and check it out. It's very touching and inspiring to me to know that the building was built by a black company, the Bedford Group. Darren, of course, was honcho down there, and he kept us informed as to what all was going on and how things were. The majority is black, and I think the minority might be the Caucasian people. I hear that the property values have gone up, but I don't care how high they go, I'm not leaving. But things have changed, but it's still a great neighborhood. And I don't think you can stop progress no matter what. And I have lived in New York all my life, and someone said, what is it you saw? I said, white people walking in Harlem. And not in a prejudiced way am I saying that, but it's something that Harlem used to be wall-to-wall black people. But things have changed. People are living wherever they choose to live. So a lot of things have changed.
The Bedford Group has done amazing work around the Santa Rosalia area.
Produced a better product, and they took pride in what they put here.
It has to be considered a unique animal in this area because a lot of African American developers, I don't know a lot of African American developers doing projects in the area.
Well, I know there are not a lot of African American developers, period.
He actually cared what was put here.
The family lives in the area. I know they've invested in the area.
This is a local developer. He built this. This is ours. It's not somebody giving to us.
Bedford Group is almost a household name in this community.
They have to live on the same streets as everybody else, and they have to shop at the same stores as everybody else. The Asian fund is created by developers like the Bedford Group that do development in the area and to help community, to offset any mitigation issues. They provide funding for parks and open space.
So they've been very good to work with.
I mean, the community is underserved as it is. The housing stock is old, and so when you're able to do affordable housing, the type of housing, you have a sense of what the community needs. And we tended to do primarily multifamily housing, so that's what we did. We knew that the housing, since it was affordable, that provided a community service.
Thank you very much. Thank you. I'd like to see if we have any questions for the applicant at this time. Seeing none, sorry, Commissioner Schultz. Okay, well, seeing that, we will be inviting you back up later after we hear from the public, so I'm sure we'll have some additional questions at that point, but thank you for sharing the video.
I promise you, one more video.
Thank you. So next we're going to move to general public comment. However, I think it's appropriate to take a quick, short 5-minute break, recess, before we move on to that phase of the hearing. So we're going to come back at 10:10, everyone, and move into our general public comment. So thank you.